Howdy, Zip Disc here, answering Timelord's questions for Doctor Who fans. This is kind of a bit of an odd one for me. I usually answer questions about Transformers and talk about Transformers, but today, it's all about the Who. First of all, quick thought on Torchwood Season 3. I thought the writing was fantastic. It was probably the best thing the whole series has done. I was not thrilled with Season 1 for the most part, aside from a couple episodes, but Season 3, great, in my opinion. Children of Earth was fantastic. Okay, here's my questions. Here's my answers. 1, how long have I been a fan of Doctor Who? This is actually really funny. I've been a fan of Doctor Who since 1985. 1 year after I became a fan of Transformers. And here's what it was. I discovered Doctor Who because of Transformers. Transformers was on at a certain time in the afternoon, and I'd rush home from school to see it. Well, after it was over, there was nothing else to watch on as far as I was concerned, because I wasn't a huge fan of G.I. Joe, so I'd switch channels. On PBS, my local PBS station in Billings, Montana at the time, actually had Doctor Who on in the afternoons. It was the half-hour bits, Peter Davison stuff. And that's how I found it. Which answers question number 2. So I found it on PBS, and I was like, wow. The first thing I ever saw was, I think... Was it Kinda? Yeah, the first appearance of the Mara was the first episode I think I ever saw. And so in many ways, Peter Davison is my doctor. Now I've answered question number 3, because he was my first. Question number 4, who is my definitive companion? My definitive companion is Zoe Harriet. I didn't get to see her till I was in my 20s, but I instantly, developed a crush on the character, which is terrible. She's cute, she's smart, she's actually, one of the Doctor's better companions as far as the girls, because she's not an idiot, but she's not overbearingly dominant like Liz Shaw. She's not a shrieking harpy like Tegan. And that's just my opinion, though. And she's a heck of a lot better than Mel. Mel is my least favorite companion of all time, bar none. Who is my favorite villain or monster in the series? Well, this is a two-parter. My favorite monsters would have to be the Daleks. Absolutely love the Daleks. They make the series for me. In my opinion, from what I've read, there wouldn't be a Doctor Who today if it hadn't been for the Daleks. They kind of saved it, from what I've read in the 1960s. So, that's my answer to that question. As far as favorite villain, there's a lot of them, actually. I like a lot of the villains in Doctor Who. Of course, the Master. Not the Anthony Ainley Master, the original Roger Delgado Master from back in the Pertwee years. He was, I was about to say masterful, but that would be kind of redundant, wouldn't it? Favorite villains. There are so many good ones I can think of. I really like the Beast from Satan Pit and the Impossible Planet. That thing was genuinely scary to me, and really kind of cool. Okay, 6. What is the series triumph, in my opinion? My opinion of what the series triumph would be, aside from being the longest continuously running science fiction program on Earth for its run from 63 to 89, and then picking up again without breaking continuity. I mean, there's been other sci-fi series that have come back after long hiatuses. Star Trek The Next Generation, all this. But it always had some other title on it, or totally changed the story. Doctor Who never did that. Doctor Who stayed with its core concept, its core characters, everything was originally like it was. Well, not everything. I mean, we changed Doctors, which is a brilliant idea in my opinion. It's a great way to keep a series going when your actors get old or don't want to do it anymore. But I really have to say, I think the malleability and longevity of the show without changing the basic concept is really the series' greatest triumph. Its adaptability. Okay, 7. Do you collect any merchandise, DVDs, toys, books, audios, etc.? And if so, what is your number one crown jewel in your collection? I used to collect a lot more Doctor Who merchandise than I do these days. I had trading card sets, and I had all kinds of things, but my collecting budget these days mostly goes to Transformers and other giant robots. My crown jewel at one point would have been my Doctor Who poster. I had a Doctor Who poster with the first 7 Doctors on it from when did the anniversary. I think it was the, what was it, I think it was the 20th anniversary. No, it was the 25th anniversary was what it was, because it was the '88 poster. I had the limited edition print for that, and I had it posted on this really nice fiberboard, so it was nice and stiff. And I got it autographed, actually. I got it autographed by Sylvester McCoy, and I thought that was awesome. But somehow that got lost. I don't know what happened to it. It's been years, so... and yes, I did collect some of the audios for a while, too, but I got really poor once and sold them all on eBay. What non-televised media do you enjoy? This is question 8. Books. Big fan. Oh, I love the books. I read all of the 8th Doctor books from the BBC. I thought they were some of them were some of the most mature and well-written Doctor Who stories ever, well, up until the modern era. And some of them were trash, but some of them were great, and they introduced wonderful characters like the Faction Paradox, and, you know, then dealt a lot with Romana being president of the Time Lords, and so it was just a fantastic series. And I just don't like the current books. I think they're more of a child-friendly kind of line, whereas the old BBC books, the softcover 8th Doctor and such, were actually written for an older audience. I also like the Big Finish audios. Those are great. I listened to all of the 8th Doctor audios up to the one about the astronauts trapped in the world where everything was exactly the same. All the houses on the block were the same. I listened to it up to that, and then I kind of fell off for a while. I really need to get back because I want to find out what happened to Charlie. What do I watch? Do I watch the spin-offs? Yes, I watch both Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Smith Adventures. And what are my thoughts on them? Torchwood is a good show, and I really don't think it's going to come back after season 3 if you've seen the ending. It was inconsistent, but had flashes of brilliance. The whole story arc in season 2 with Jack's brother was great. The characters were good. I liked most of the characters. I mean, I couldn't stand Owen, but that's because he was written to be the character you couldn't stand. And I didn't like Ianto that much. I thought after the Cyberwoman episode, he really should have just gone away. Forever. Sarah Jane is decent. It's very much a kid-friendly kind of show, the kind of thing you'd see on Nickelodeon here in the U.S. I mean, it's definitely got a very Monster of the Week flavor, kind of like old Who, and sometimes new Who. But it just doesn't... There are bits of it that don't grab me like actual Who does. There are certain episodes that I find absolutely brilliant. The season ender for season 1 was really good. The episodes with that weird shadowy guy with the Voldemort face, who... whatever happened to Sarah Jane Smith was a great episode, and this year's The Temptation of Sarah Jane Smith, I thought those were really good. But on the whole, it's not my kettle of tea. 10. You are the new showrunner. What would you do to improve the series? Well, for one thing, I would not bring back Torchwood if I had an optional, because I think it ended well. I'd keep Captain Jack kind of angsty at first, have the Doctor slap some sense into him later. I'd bring back a few more of the classic monsters. I'd love to see some Ice Warriors. Maybe the Great Intelligence, because I'd love to see the Yeti come back. That'd be great. And I'd do a little bit less on Earth. They've been getting away from that a little bit more in the more recent series, but I'd do a lot less on Earth. It seems that they visit Earth more and more in the newer series than they did in the old series. I mean, the old series would have at least 2 episodes set on Earth, but a lot of it was on other planets. But I kind of miss that focus. And have I ever jumped behind the sofa? No, because when I was a kid, the sofa was pressed up against the wall, and if I tried to jump behind it, I would have gone through a wall. And when I was a kid, Doctor Who really didn't scare me that much. I mean, it was the 80s, and I'd seen some pretty horrendous horror films by that point. And Doctor Who just didn't seem to frighten me. It intrigued me, and I found the villains to be interesting and the monsters fascinating, but nothing really scared me when I was a kid. And I really don't understand what the whole jumping behind the sofa thing that people in England talk about is. But then I guess I'm an American, and I'm just hard and tough, and I'm a Texan, damn it. No, just kidding. Anyway, you guys have a great day. This has been my response to Timelord, and I hope he enjoys it. You guys take it easy. Bye.